Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fan Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, Chris Borgia, alongside co-host Gabe Layden, Ben Lotman, and Jake
We're back.
Holdzauer.
There we go. Got the
Today we got
balloons. We're
a
back.
today we got a long episode, but I'm trying something new today. So before we go into our segments, I want to give a quick news because there's been a lot of sports stuff going on today. Just to give everyone some intel. As of today, it is currently June 4th. It is a Tuesday. In 2024. There has been some sports extensions and there's been some other drama going on too. So as of today, CMC got a 2-year extension worth $19 million a year. Keep in mind, Saquon's getting paid literally $10 million. So looking at this, that's literally insane to me. They're gonna pay a running back that much money, but good because I hope San Fran goes to the trash can and I hope they stink.
He's the best running back in the league, though, so he deserves it.
Yeah, but 20 million is crazy. That's crazy money, bro. That's nuts. I'm never paying a running back that much money. Unless if the cap space goes up. Moving on, Tyrese Maxey got an extension today, 5-year, $205 million. But he got a bag. I'm happy that he's sticking around for good, which is really nice. This next news, me and Gabe spoke a little bit about over the weekend. Mr. Mbappe has changed teams. He is no longer a part
Only
of.
been rumored for about like 4 years now.
He is no longer on PSG. He is now with Real Madrid. I think that's literally insane, dude.
Dude,
Ben's face shows very disappointment.
What happened
I
to
mean-
his part of ownership with PSG now? It's just gone?
I don't know.
honestly don't know about that. He
I think
got
it
some-
was probably some partial ownership for the. I mean, I don't know how that works, right? But like, I mean, it was over the course of like his 3-year, $300 million contract. So I'm sure that like there was some other stuff included in it.
Yeah.
Either way, he doesn't care about that. He's getting paid
Yeah.
regardless of where he goes. Even if it's 16 mil a year, I don't care.
Real Madrid is insane. They just won the Champions League, which is if you don't know, the team, it's the best European soccer teams all play against each other. And they won that, and then they just add the best player in the world. And they're also bringing in a young man from Brazil who
Endrick he's basically seen as the next Pele, which is very extreme, but like he seems to be a crazy talent.
The last
and
little
potentially
bit.
and Alphonso Davies potentially from
Oh,
Bayern
yes.
Munich. I don't know if
Yes.
that's still happening or not.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
it's still rumored, but who knows?
The last little bit of news that we got from today was there's been some suspensions around the MLB. There's been some betting scandals recently. Amongst a few names here is Michael Kelly, Jay Groom. This guy is actually on the Phillies. I never actually heard of him. He's a minor leaguer named Jose Rodriguez. Tucupita Marcano, and the big name here that I know Ben definitely knows about is Andrew Saalfrank, the rotational Diamondbacks player who trashed us in the playoffs last year. Well, guess what, buddy? Your season's over. See you later. That's pretty much
Wait, which one of them hit like 4.5% of their bets?
Oh,
I think it was Marcano, the guy on the Padres.
Because honestly, I feel
That's
like it's almost
impressive.
worse that he missed 96% of his bets than the fact that he bet in the first place.
Honestly,
Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
That's an impressive statistic.
It honestly is.
Yeah.
The last little bit of news, besides the fact that Pete the Savannah Bananas jersey, it's pretty fire.
Which I guessed, by the way, before the recording, random pull. I was just like, you saw the yellow.
Last
Gabe
little
was
bit
really
of
impressed.
news. We had how was everyone's weekend?
It was a lovely time. Some grad parties, obviously.
Because guess what?
Season,
Guess what? My
Nice.
weekend was great. I won $80 off UFC. Thank you, Sean Strickland.
Wow.
Thanks, buddy. That was a really good night.
I had a little lay on that card too.
Yeah, it was nice.
I had Islam over 2.5 rounds. Islam Poirier going over 2.5 rounds, and I kind of had to sweat that out. I thought he was going to submit him in like the first or second. So
I don't like Islam, man. Moving on, though. You probably like him because he's a Mets fan. Moving on, though. Segment 1, we're going to be touching base on some NBA playoffs. Segment 2, we're going to touch base on the NHL playoffs. Then we're going to give out our players of the week. And then we're going to talk a little bit around the MLB. And then we'll call it. going into it now, we officially have our finals matchup between Dallas and Boston. The last episode we had, we could kind of, or practically we all foreseen this because Minnesota was just getting trashed. Unfortunately, I didn't expect it to be that bad. They really had a fall off after beating the champs from last year, which was a bit of a shocker.
I said
How
this
we
last year
feeling?
too. I think the Timberwolves were just tired after beating the Nuggets. They put so much into it that they got to the conference finals.
Yeah, I guess. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the first game of the series is Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thursday night at 8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday night at 8:30.
All right. So how we feeling, boys?
I feel like
Does-
we all jumped on
does-
that Minnesota bandwagon like way too soon. That's what
Yeah,
that's how I'm
yeah,
feeling.
that's what I
But
feel
like,
like.
That was all of us, I think.
realistically, if you look at their lineup overall, I think like especially like their starting lineup, I think you can make the case that's a top 5 starting lineup in the NBA when they're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue.
You have a
could argue
great
that,
player
but
at every position, bro.
I
Because
think-
Mike Conley's a very good playmaking point guard who knows how to help Ant get the shots that he wants.
I think what that series showed me personally is that there's a large gap between, say, the top 4 players and the rest of the league. Because to me, Luka Doncic just was. I mean, the players on the Timberwolves were solid, but there was nobody near the level of Luka in this series. I mean, he was just dominant. They couldn't do anything to stop him. And I think what makes him even more dominant is you have another guard that can handle the ball, that can score alongside Luka, and then you just have the depth of big men that they have. They have 2 guys that are really good, scorers. And then, if Derek Lively develops, he's a really good defensive player. If he develops more on the offensive end, he could be another, elite, like a pretty elite player for his skill set. So I think that Dallas Mavericks roster is just built perfectly around Luka. And yeah, shout out to the Dallas organization for building that roster the right way.
Dude, I kind of really blame Karl Anthony Towns in this series, man. He just like he was good the first 2 games, but then after that, he just wasn't there anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was gone.
I feel like that's the story of his career, though.
Or,
Like, I feel like,
let me rephrase. I was wrong. It was the last 2 games. The first games
Yeah.
were the ones he was gone.
I feel like it's the story of his career, though, to this point. He'll just have these spurts where he's an all-star level player, and people are like, okay, he's going to be a star. He's going to be a guy that you can give a max contract to. And then he just has these stretches where he looks like he doesn't even deserve to be starting in the league. It's just like, it's really difficult to watch as a fan of the game because
Do you think
he has that talent.
Do you think part of the problem is there might not be enough scoring out of the starting lineup?
I mean, for me, here's my thing. I just don't think the 2 big guys thing can win a championship in the NBA right now. I think if I'm the Timberwolves going into this offseason, I look to trade Cat because Rudy Gobert showed me that he can do something in the playoffs. Like, he played pretty well for the most part, better than I thought he could have. Better than he did when he was on Utah, that's for sure.
Who
So
do
I
you
think-
even look to move Karl Anthony Towns for?
I don't know, more wings. There's always going to be a need for big men on different teams. So I feel like there's going to be a team that would want him. Maybe the Knicks. I feel like that would be a good fit if the Knicks don't
That
get.
would be good. 'Cause they're
Especially if
also not-
Hartenstein goes.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
they're looking to get rid of Mitchell Robinson too. They're not looking to
Yeah.
bring him back.
So and the Knicks have some good bench pieces that Minnesota could look to add to.
So what about a swap with Randall and Cat?
I honestly feel like that could work for both parties. I feel like maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know who has more value there. So honestly, I feel like that's a pretty fair swap deal, and I think the contracts would probably work out. So, I mean, I don't know, Jake. What do you think as a Knicks guy?
I wouldn't be angry with it. I think Cat, when you bring him, like the Knicks are good at defense, and Cat's not a guy that is a great defensive player. But when you bring him in and his scoring, I think that could definitely help them. But right now, the big rumor for the Knicks right now is going after Devin Booker.
Not gonna happen.
Which that would be amazing if they do get him. That would be, you would have to get rid of Randall as well. but I think Cat would be a pretty good fit, especially if they get rid of Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein, which I 100% think they should bring back. That was a
Can I bring up something now
great.
that you brought that name up? Did anyone else see that there was a rumor going around that he was asking for $100 million, bro? Get out of here.
NBA money is
that's
crazy, though. I
insane.
think it's possible. He played pretty
Who
well.
wants to pay him $100 million, bro, to play backup center?
There's some team that has a lot of cap space that you're forgetting about. They're gonna fly
Yeah,
under
like
the
who?
radar.
The Wizards?
If they're on that offer.
The Wizards?
Maybe it's very
They can have
possible.
fun
I
with
think
that,
could.
bro. $100 million is insanity.
But how much is Jordan Poole getting paid right now? A whole lot more than he should be, right?
Yeah, but like to be fair,
Wizards like doing that.
To be fair, he played really good on the Warriors because he had a team around him. He doesn't have a team around him in the Wizards.
I think he's just not great, but that's a different story.
Going back to the point you made, Chris, with like, do you think the Timberwolves don't have enough scoring? I mean, the Mavericks shut down Anthony Edwards and double teamed him, almost triple teamed him.
Bro, once you shut down Anthony Edwards, who really do you look at on that team as a scorer?
Nobody else had a chance to score.
Cat is inefficient. McDaniels can get really good at times. I really like McDaniels. I think he's a guy that they have to keep desperately. Gobert, we've all known that Gobert's not a scorer. He can get you 10 points. Maybe at most. That might even be pushing it. And Mike Conley, dude, he's not Grizzlies Mike Conley anymore. You know what I mean? Like he's up there in age, man. He's there for leadership and mentorship and the playmaking aspect, which is why I like Mike Conley there. But like when you look at it now, that's 3 guys out of your starting lineup that you hope score but are like inefficient, which isn't going to take you a long way. Like the guys.
I don't think that you need the second scorer as much as you need guys that are able to at least get a couple baskets a game. Like I keep going back to the 2022 Warriors as an example. Curry really didn't have a whole lot of talent on that team other than himself, but he had like 4 guys on that team that shot above 40% from 3, and that's what really helped them out. They had Otto Porter played really well. I think Jordan Poole played pretty decent. I forget who else was on that team.
Clay wasn't horrible.
Clay was, yeah, but there were other. I'm forgetting now. I think Gary Payton.
Wiggins.
Jr. Yeah, Andrew Wiggins played pretty well. Gary Payton Jr. And then I think there's one more that I'm forgetting about right now that were like all very efficient, and they don't need to put up like 20 a game. But if you're giving them, if all giving you like 9 points a game off of 3 threes, that's pretty valuable.
Yes, it is valuable, but like put it to you this way, right? When they shut down Anthony Edwards and you got Dallas with Luka and Kyrie both put up at least 20 to 30 points. That's 50 points right there. Plus, PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford both stepped up really well, and they both started playing their hearts out. There was the one game where PJ Washington had like 20 points too. So when that's happening, who else is going to stand up and score if it's not Anthony Edwards?
Well, exactly. And that's the thing, too, is that Anthony Edwards isn't really a passer. He's a shooting guard at his best. And when he has the ball, he's expecting to score. He's not looking like Stephen Curry is a great scorer, but we know that he's an amazing passer as well. And he can get the ball to those guys and get them open looks. Anthony Edwards, not as much. That's more of a Mike Conley ordeal.
Yeah, but to be fair, Anthony Edwards could develop that. He's still really young.
Yeah, of course. But it's just like not right now, that kind of scenario.
So
Ben shaking his head. You see something funny over there?
I'm just looking at some advanced statistics, and I was looking at offensive rating in the playoffs. The guy who has the number 1 offensive rating going into this series between the 2 teams is Al Horford.
He's been playing pretty solid. I can't even lie. Like I don't even know how that's
What?
happened, but
He
Why is that?
has,
Because
but
of
like it's just funny to me.
Well, since you brought up the enemy,
The enemy.
I think I'm taking Dallas in 6. That's
we were
what I've
split.
sat
We were
at.
split last week, weren't we? Was it split 2-2? Me and Gabe, we took Boston last week, right?
yeah, I took Boston.
You
last
both
week, for
took
sure.
Boston, but I think I'm still gonna sit at 6. In 6.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I feel like I've been looking at a lot of stats and just the matchups. If you look at both the rosters,
Super teams don't always win, Ben.
I'm
Telling you.
not saying that. This Boston team isn't a typical super team though. This team is deep. This team has two if you split the roster in half, you probably have two playoff teams. That's how deep this Boston Celtics team is. And you look at it and this team matches up perfectly with the Dallas Mavericks. They have the big man depth, so if one of their big men gets in foul trouble, they can just insert another guy who can take up fouls and then, so on and so forth. And then the X factor in this series for between both teams, if this guy plays well, Boston's going to win. If he doesn't play well, Mavs are going to win. Derek White, defensively.
Derek White's always good though.
I know, but defensively, can you slow down Luka? Not stop him. Can you slow him down? Can you give up 30 but an inefficient 30? Like Luka's going to get his points. He's going to probably end up averaging around a triple double throughout
But what
the
you're
series.
asking is if he'll take up like 30 shots and go like 10 for 30.
Yeah, so I'm like, all you got to do is slow him down, and also try and lower his assist numbers. Make other guys create their own shot. Obviously, Kyrie can create his own shot, but outside of those two, the rest of the roster doesn't have the ability to create their own shot. And then also another X factor is just the Dallas Mavericks 3-point shooting. If their role players can shoot, I don't know, 38, 40% this series, they're going to win. They're going to win because if those guys are making their open threes, then what are you going to do? You can't leave them open because you don't want to give up a three, but you have to double Luka going into the lane or else he's going to find someone. So it's going to be a game of cat and mouse. I don't really know who I want to pick, so I'm going to stick with what I said last week and say Dallas, but I'm not very confident about it. Derek White is just a really good player all around. I mean, he has the best assisted turnover ratio of any player in this series at 6.4. So I don't know. He's a really good player, really underrated player. Yeah, I mean, he's honestly like the prime role player, like the best role player. Like there's no way he could have his own. He can't run his own team, but as a number 2 option, he could be fine as number 2. But on that team, he's probably a number 3 at best. You could argue number 4. So yeah, that's my X factor. Obviously, there's a lot of other important players. Does Al Horford shoot the 3 ball well? PJ Washington, what does he do? Does he get 15 points a game? But yeah, it's going to be a difficult series. If this series doesn't go at least 6 games, I'm going to be incredibly surprised.
If you're the Celtics, who do you put on Luka?
You got to put
Derek White.
Yeah, you have to.
And Drew Holiday on
realistically Derek White. Yeah, I guess. I would rather have an older Drew Holiday playing an older Kyrie than an older Drew Holiday playing a young, very talented Luka.
Drew Holiday is his on-ball defense has slowed down a little bit this year. So I feel like in past years you'd say Drew Holiday, but I think obviously Drew Holiday is still an above average.
Yeah, but I like the size matchup between Derek White and Luka. Derek White's bigger.
Yeah, and right now he just has more athleticism. He's more in his prime. But yeah, I mean, Luka is going to average a triple double in this series. Honestly, it is possible that Luka does so well and that Boston is so deep that nobody on Boston really has crazy stats, and then Luka loses the series but wins Finals MVP because it has happened before. It could happen.
Do we think Tatum's going to be good?
Huh?
Do we think Tatum's going to be good? There's some controversy with that.
Jason Tatum has been really good in these playoffs. I mean, he's stepped up to the plate. He's averaging 26 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
So a little less than some of the previous years. But he's getting his points when he needs to. The key here is he's shooting 29% from 3. That has to go up. He's got to shoot at least 35%, or else people are just gonna sag off him, you know. And you see that. I mean, you saw that in this Knicks Sixers series where, you know, if they don't think a guy's gonna shoot, you have to give up something. Especially with Boston, that team's so good, you have to give up. You're gonna get some open shots, so you got to figure that out. And right now, if I'm defending against Boston, I let Tatum get some threes. Obviously not wide open, somewhat contested, but if he settles for a three, I'm not that upset, you know, if I'm Dallas.
I agree.
And also Kristaps Porzingis. I don't even know why
I was gonna say you didn't even mention him at all.
He's not playing.
He is playing game one. He's playing game one. I saw.
He is playing game one.
That's what I read. I don't think it's confirmed, but from what I read, it's pretty clear that he's going to play from inside the organization.
I like Gafford though defensively matching up.
And you don't know. I mean, he could be playing and not be at 100%. So.
He's been banged up.
You never know. He could re-injure whatever the injury he had is. So we're gonna have to see.
So dominant throughout the playoffs anyway without him. That's like, do they really need him?
I mean, I think if you have a healthy Kristaps Porzingis,
healthy Kristaps Porzingis help him even more.
Yeah, of course, but it's not the end of the world if they don't have him.
Yeah, so
in my eyes.
So we're split down the middle again. It's
Gabe and Jay Hughes are both taking Celtics though.
Yeah, real quick though, Ben mentioned that Dallas has another guard, and I always say like, for a guy with so many headlines, especially over the past like however many years, Kyrie always seems to fly under the radar in terms of skill wise. Like he's still, in my opinion, a superstar in the league, and I think he's not a first option on a championship winning team, but he's probably one of the best second options in the league, if not the best. I don't know. I'm trying to think real quick, but regardless, Kyrie Irving, I think, is actually the key defensively for the Celtics. I think it's more so about slowing down Kyrie than it is Luka, because Luka, regardless of how well he plays, of how many shots he misses, because sometimes he can be inefficient shooting wise and still give you a lot of points. I think he's probably going to give you 25 to like 35 a game, regardless of how well you play defensively against him. Kyrie, though, on the other hand, can be pretty streaky at times. And like, yeah, on his best nights, he'll give you 30, what was it, 36 in the closeout game last series. And like he scored the same amount of points as Luka, but he could also go for like 13 to 14 points and shoot really inefficiently, right? So I think if you play really well defensively against Kyrie, they don't really have a second source of like somebody that can create for themselves. And of course, Luka's a great playmaker. He can get open shots, but without Kyrie, they're not the same Dallas Mavericks that they are with them. And I think the Celtics, I mean, obviously the fans are going to love that idea that, I mean, locking down Kyrie would be their dream in the NBA Finals to win the to win the trophy, right?
Yeah.
But I think they're able to do that pretty easily. Or not pretty easily, but I think that they're able to do that in 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, and to put some numbers behind that, he's averaging 23 points a game, but he's been incredibly efficient. He's shooting 49% from the field and 42% from three. So I mean,
those are really good numbers.
If those numbers stay, if he's shooting 42% from three, he's shooting 6 threes a game. If those numbers keep up, I don't know how Boston.
Wild.
Exactly. And I don't know if he's had a 50, 40, 90 season before, but I know he was really, really close if he didn't have one with the Nets.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you guys with 2 more things, and then we're going to move on. First thing, did you know that if Dallas wins, Grant Williams can get a ring?
Really? They're going to give him
Grant
one?
Williams, right?
I don't know if they'll give him one. He did play more than half the games, though, for them. He played 47.
That's so funny that they got rid of him.
Yeah,
he's solid.
Funny.
I don't know if you guys remember that Grant Williams game last year against Milwaukee, or 2 years ago. When was that? I don't even remember when that was now. But
only thing
Milwaukee,
I remember,
when he dropped 27 on him.
Only thing I remember of Grant Williams was him getting his head stomped in.
That happened too.
By Joel Embiid. Now, here's the other thing that I'm going to hit you guys with. A little earlier, I wrote this down. I ended up seeing a post on Instagram where ESPN has rated their top 10 guys in the playoffs. And I just want to say them out, and then as I go one by one, I want to hear if you guys like agree or disagree. So just tell me if you agree or disagree. Starting off at 10, we have Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep going. I can't see.
in my top 10, but
I can't see. Well, I got to see who's above him.
yeah.
Okay. Number 9, we have Siakam.
That's valid, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking
Yeah,
about how
nice.
far Indiana got, and he was, again, another guy that flew under the radar because Halliburton.
Number 8, we have Drew Holiday.
I mean, I
Seems a
guess
little
if Boston
high.
made it to the finals, I
Over
guess.
Siakam's a little
Right.
interesting.
The
Yeah, I
first
don't know if I like that,
two
though.
series he was pretty quiet. In the conference finals he was electric, but
Number 7, we have Kyrie.
okay, that's fair.
I feel like he should probably be higher,
Higher,
but
yeah.
that's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 6, we have Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, he's definitely Kyrie over Jaylen Brown 100%.
Yeah, I agree with Gabe there.
Well, I mean, Jaylen
No,
Brown had a
Kyrie-
really good series.
Jaylen
but,
Brown
I mean,
won conference finals MVP, so honestly, I feel that feels kind of low for me, to be honest.
All right.
I think, I mean, I would say both of them probably higher, but I still think, I mean, maybe that's biased, but Kyrie over Jaylen Brown for me.
Number 5, we have Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I'm not going to
Yeah.
complain about that.
Okay. Number 4, we have Derek White.
What are they rating most important? What are they like? What's the name of the list?
Best players of the playoffs so far.
That makes absolutely no
Nah,
sense.
Jaylen Brown has been the best player on the Celtics, in my opinion.
Okay. Number 3, Jason Tatum.
That's stupid. I don't even. Yeah, no. Sorry. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Number 2, Anthony Edwards.
Okay,
That makes
and then
sense.
number 1
And
is
then
going to be
number
Jalen
four.
Brunson.
And number 1 is Luca.
Jalen Brunson. I thought Brunson would be.
How is
I don't know
Jalen?
how far,
I'm sorry, but how is
You know-
Jalen Brunson not on?
I don't know
there?
how far back. I guess it was only from conference finals.
That's what I'm
Conference?
saying. Because if it was the entire playoffs and then you're ranking the best players,
Jalen
then
Brunson
you'll
should
think
be
Shea would
top
be there.
5. Shea and Jalen Brunson should both be top 5 if that's the case.
Yeah,
And there's
You could
a whole
argue
lot
And
more
Tyrese-
reason-
Jokic. My
you could
top
also-
5 would probably
you
be
could-
them two, Anthony Edwards, Luca, and Jokic.
yeah.
If we're
And
just
you
talking
also,
playoffs.
I mean, you could factor in the teams that went like 7 in the first round that lost too.
Can I say something funny? Looking at these statistics right now, Joel Embiid was more efficient than Jalen Brunson in the playoffs.
Well, he also
I feel
played
like
less
Jalen
games.
Brunson's
Well-
talented.
Played less games.
Well, Jake's a
Yeah.
little salty now.
He also played Indiana in the second round, who's known to be one of the worst defensive teams.
Now, it's time for some fun now that we're done the NBA. Until next week. Fan player of the week, fellas. And I'd love to start today. And would I love to start? Because mine's just beautiful because I love being right. And I think we all know that. Who do we think I picked?
I have no
Any
I have no clue.
takers?
Honestly, I thought if you were going to go with somebody else, but I don't think you're going to go with the person I was thinking of based on that comment.
Okay.
So
No takers?
Oh my God.
I'm
Are they a
slipping my
player
mind
or are
right
they
now,
a
but on the
coach?
Florida Panthers.
It's a player, Jake.
Okay. I thought you were gonna go with Nick Sirianni because he kind of just dumpstered the Giants a little bit.
I saw that. That was so
I love that.
disrespectful.
I love that.
I hope he
I
cries
love a
again.
coach who really gets along with the fans and kind of reminds me of a fan. But I am not talking about him. I am currently talking about someone on the Eagles, though, or was an Eagle. There's been some news that came out earlier today. I don't know if anybody saw that a certain man hasn't showed up to practice or talked to the coaches or has given any piece of crap towards his team. Does anyone know who that player is?
Micah Parsons.
Nope.
Not
Ben?
even.
I don't know. There's, I don't
Gabe?
know.
No, I saw this, but it's slipping my mind. Yeah,
It was Hassan Reddick.
Really?
He hasn't shown up to one practice. He hasn't said hi to the coach or anything. My guy didn't want to leave Philly, and they didn't give him his money, and now he's mad. And I respect that. Bro, don't care, bro. He's literally been posting on Instagram that he's been, like, holding sports camps in Camden right now, hanging out with his family.
You
And
know
I
what?
respect that.
How he's playing 5K chess. He's waiting for them to cut him, and then he's going to resign.
He's going to sign with the Eagles.
Yeah, he's going to sign on a
that'd
vet
be
minimum.
terrible.
He's
Once
going to
he
sign
gets-
with the
once
Eagles,
he-
bro.
He's
In all
gonna get
seriousness,
even less
though,
money
once
than
he
he
buys
actually
into that
wanted.
Jets culture, that defense is going to be so tough.
Yeah.
He's not going to buy into that culture, obviously.
Aaron
'cause he
Rodgers
wants
will
to
take
go
him
back.
on a little ayahuasca trip or there's like little night whatever.
You know,
darkness would
if
create
I
more
was
bias, trust.
Hassan Reddick and Aaron Rodgers was my quarterback at this very point of time, I would just leave. I hate to be that guy, but Aaron Rodgers is literally a fossil.
And Aaron
Different if
Rodgers
we're
is like
talking
the
about a different
Antonio
Aaron
Brown of
Rodgers.
quarterbacks. That's my comp right there. Aaron Rodgers is the Antonio Brown of quarterbacks. I think there's a few screws loose up there at this point in their
There's a lot of
life.
questionable things. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But
and
I'd almost say Cam Newton is just because
So,
now he's out of
it's
the league,
kinda-
like who knows what's going on with that guy.
it's kind of funny though because a lot of people are like talking in the comments, and people are like, "Yeah, he wanted to stay in Philly and he meant it, and this and that," and it's pretty funny to me how
That's weird though. I don't like that because if you're traded, shouldn't you have some sort of like, fire in you that's like, I'm gonna prove the Eagles wrong for not giving me that money?
No, because the Eagles wanted to keep him. They just couldn't give him.
Well, if they
that
wanted to
money,
keep
bro.
him, then they wouldn't have traded him.
That's what I'm
Yeah, but
saying.
they just couldn't give him that money, bro.
So
But then
prove
you give
him
that
that
money to
I don't
Price
know
Hall.
why.
That-
I think, in my opinion,
if they
he
could pay
deserves it, but that just
Saquon,
might
why
be
can't
biasy for
they
me.
pay Hassan Reddick?
I never thought I would go on Twitter and the first tweet I would see is Kenny Pickett with a nice pass to John Ross. That's a crazy tweet.
Is that your
Bro,
fan player of the week?
John Ross had a nice press conference though. I
Yeah,
feel
that
like
was
he's
nice.
he's definitely gonna be. I feel like he's gonna be on the roster. He seems like he's really
With that
into
being said, though, with the Reddick situation, do we see him suiting up with the Jets? Do we see him not suiting up with the Jets? Is he going to be back on the Eagles? Is he going to be somewhere else?
He's gonna.
I
shoot
mean,
up
he's
the
definitely gonna play for the Jets.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know, man. From someone who's met him on multiple times, like literal multiple occasions, and have spoken to this guy about pretty much anything and everything, this guy, like, I don't think he's going to suit up for them at all.
well, he's probably just holding out to get an extension. I
It's
think
not that. It's not that at all. His number one thing over anything is his family, bro. All he wants to do is be with his family. That's it. He don't
but the
care
Jets
about playing
traded
for New
him,
York.
no- the Jets trade for him knowing that he would also need an extension.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to give it to him.
they're gonna.
He's
have
not
to.
going to take an extension there, bro. I'm telling you, the number one thing that he wants is to be close to his family, and Philly was the closest spot because it's literally 2 minutes away.
Yeah, I mean, New York isn't that far though. To be
Yeah,
fair.
we'll come to the best team in New York. Watch it. We'll be repping
That's
blue.
if Aaron Rodgers plays more than 6 seconds on the field.
What?
Actually, I don't even think we get Brian Burns enough.
What? Moving on though, like I said, he'll be back on the Eagles sometime this season. You
we
watch.
took your best player.
Um,
Until he gets
who wants
hurt.
to give their player of the week?
I'll go. Okay, so my player of the week, we're going over to baseball. He just won Rookie of the Month and Pitcher of the Month. I'm going with Luis Heel from the Yankees. He
Of course.
he came in to replace Garrett Cole. Yeah, a little bit biased, I'll admit it. But at the same time, he's been shoving on the bump. He has a .7 ERA in the month of May.
Can I
and he
ask
went
you why
6-0.
Yankees fans are delusional?
What are you talking about? We're the best team in
I'm
baseball right now.
seeing
You are not the best team in baseball. The Philadelphia Phillies are,
Nope.
but
Better
I'm
record.
You guys
seeing
are
people.
second.
All right, let
I'll
me
give
let
you
me ask you
second.
this. Let me ask you this. I'm seeing people that are Yankees fans right now that are telling me that, according to them, that they have a better starting rotation than the Phillies.
They do. They have the best ERA in baseball for starting rotation.
You think their rotation is better than the Phillies?
Yes.
What? No one's gonna win Cy
Coach, you
Young
think
on
so
the
now.
Yankees.
Luis Heel is a big Cy Young candidate right now.
He ain't gonna win it though. We
No, he's
actually
probably
have
gonna
a
fall
Cy
off,
Young
but-
candidate. We got 2 Cy Young candidates. Wheeler and Ranger.
But I'm just saying, he's shoving. He's doing great. He came in to replace Garrett Cole, and we thought that he was just going to get sent back down after Cole came back. But no, now he's one of the best pitchers in baseball right now.
I don't know, man. I think a few of you guys are delusional. It's okay though, because we have some delusional fans too. I'd love to give you this one kid that I seen earlier. He put a TikTok out. I'm just randomly scrolling. It said, "Yeah, let's just trade JT, Kyle, and Castellanos, and let's get Adley Rutschman, and we're gonna go out in free agency and sign Corbin Burns, Max Fried, and Juan Soto." And I went, "Yeah. Now where are you getting this from, buddy? What planet are you living on?"
Here you go, Chris. I put the stats right here, right now.
I don't want Juan Soto either.
Yankees pitching 2.78 ERA, the best in baseball. The Phillies a 3 ERA, second best.
Name one pitcher on the Yankees that's better than Ranger Suarez.
Luis Hill.
That's wrong. That's criminally wrong. That is criminally wrong, Jake, and I won't have it. Ranger Suarez is my guy. I'm not taking any Ranger Suarez slander.
How's he doing after that comebacker to him, though?
Yeah, he hit in the hand, man. He's good, though.
He's probably going to play his next game, I would say.
It's scary.
Gabe, I know you're a Mets fan, but you got to back me up here, yo. Ranger Suarez is an animal.
Yeah, I mean, you guys been looking pretty good this year. I have no space to speak here, obviously.
Listen, he's 9-1 with a 1.70 ERA.
We're below the Nats right now.
He's got a .80 whip. He's leading the league in strikeouts, too, with 79.
All I want to say is ERA is kind of a loaded stat. If you want to look at a better stat and look at FIP, Ranger Suarez is 4th and Luis Gil is 19th. So,
damn.
Just FIP is fielding independent pitching, but Tanner Houck with Boston has been the best pitcher, because I rate the best pitcher by FIP, because I just think that's the best stat.
Houck's been good for a while, man.
Yeah,
he's been a lot. Pitcher.
He's been creative. Boston's rotation is top 5, I believe.
Gabe, who do you like more though this year, the Yankees or the Phillies? Your rival New York team or your rival Philly team?
Yeah, that's the problem. I hate both teams equally, honestly. I mean, here's my problem: is I'm gonna be in Philly at the time of the World Series and playoffs, so at that point it's gonna be the Yankees, because I just can't stand everybody around me being happy as a Phillies fan. So
you can't stand me being happy?
You know, I'll just go Phillies. I hate Philly sports.
Wow.
It's gotta be the Phillies. Like
wow.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Ranger, okay? Because you look at FIP, Ben, which is a great stat. I also look at ERA plus.
Sorry, Gabe. I hate Brooke Lopez too.
Which accounts for every single stadium.
Our all-time leading scorer.
And Luis Hill, he has a 201 ERA plus. Ranger Suarez has 235, which is nuts.
Yeah. Shout out to Fangraphs for crashing my Chrome. Thanks.
Just do me a favor and say what's up to Michael Carter Williams and Nerlens Noel for me, and Mark Fultz.
Yeah, do me a favor and say what's up to D'Angelo Russell, who's not a Brooklyn Net.
He will be next year. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, buddy. He ain't even that good no more.
That's okay.
He was good. He was good before right after the trade deadline, because they were like, yeah, we're about to move you, buddy. And he was like, no. I want to stay with LeBron. So he tried to play good. Who's doing their player of the week next? Between you two.
Gabe, you go.
Sure. All right. You guys know I like to go outside of the 4 sports that we normally cover for this. So
are we hitting F1?
We're not hitting F1, even though there is a storyline there. There's a storyline like all these sports.
I know.
But I'm going this Saturday night.
Tommy Paul.
It got me. Don't speak to me about Tommy Paul. I'm still going through it after that. But I'm going Dustin the Diamond Poirier. He came into this fight against Islam Makhachev, fighting for the belt in the first time since I don't even know when. And what seemed like it's going to be his last fight. The focus was almost more on the co-main in some ways, just because it felt like Paulo Costa would give Sean Strickland more of a fight than Poirier could give the pound-for-pound #1 in the world, Islam Makhachev.
Poirier really shined, dude. He fought really
He shined like a diamond. I don't even know what got into him, but Islam controlled the first round. 2 judges gave Poirier the second round, and then Islam got the third. 2 judges gave Poirier the fourth. Islam submitted him in the 5th. But if you look at the judges' scorecards, 2 judges had it, I think, 39-37 going into the 5th. 1 judge had it even. So
I'll tell you this.
Dustin Poirier, this is like, I don't even know how to describe it to these guys, but it's like, I don't even know what the comparison would be. This guy going out on his retirement fight, it's like LeBron taking down Jokic in some ways.
I'll tell you this, watching the fights, because I was at Chickies and Pete's watching the last like 2 or 3 fights of the night. Dude, some of these judges like were just off, bro. Like First
Did you
off,
see that co-main with Paulo
yes,
Costa?
that was
Went
horrible.
49,
That was
40.
horrible.
Was it
That was
49,
actually
46 or something like
horrible.
that? I looked at my
Paulo
brother who I'm
won,
watching with, and I'm like, is Paulo Costa really about to steal this fight from him? And I know
bro.
there was one on the prelims too that they were going crazy about that I
Yeah,
didn't
you
catch.
can make the case that Paulo won maybe 2 rounds at max. I'll give him the fourth. In my opinion, it
Maybe.
was. In my
I think he
opinion, it
won
was a
either the fourth or the
4-1.
fifth, but I think it was
No,
49,
I think
46.
it was the fourth. In my opinion, it was Strickland 4-1 easy money. And dude, it was the same thing in Poirier's fight, bro. They were underrating him. There was no way it was a 3-1. It was a 2-2 going into the fifth, and then he lost.
I don't know. I kind of had it 3-1 bias aside. I love Poirier. I really wanted him to win. I think that's the way he should go out, though. I think there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of in that loss. He gave Makhachev the toughest fight I think he's gotten
But
since he
see,
got knocked out
I like the fight matchup that people have been saying recently. I really like him and
against
Max
Armand.
Holloway because of the
Oh, Max
way that
Holloway.
bro, because of the way both of them have fought in their last fight, bro. They both fought like
I'm scared for
animals.
Max though. Islam is just a different monster. I think they got to give him Armand because he's like of that same breed.
Sarukian's a dog.
Sarukian is a dog. Yeah, I forgot who I heard it from. It might have been Joe Rogan actually was talking about it, and he was saying that judges should be. I think it was from Joe Rogan that judges should be in their own separate room, watching the fight either on mute or just with like the in octagon like sounds with no crowd noise and just like no bias, and it might be better. And I think that's a decent idea because when you're in the arena and you're hearing everybody chant Dustin, like it gets into your head even if you're a judge.
I want to throw one thing out there that Ben's gonna give us his. John Jones, I hope you're watching this. Stop ducking Tommy Aspinall because you know he's gonna beat you.
The guy is overweight and he's injured. I don't know what you want him to do. He's not gonna be able
because Stipe's 40 years old and is a fossil, and you know you're gonna beat him. Fight somebody who's been calling your name out that you know is gonna beat you.
Yeah, but he wants Stipe
Prove
because
me
Stipe
wrong.
is the best heavyweight ever. He wants to beat the best heavyweight ever so he can claim that he is no matter how old he is. Because he already beat
No,
DC.
bro. John Jones is ducking him. John Jones is ducking him. Tommy would beat John Jones. It'll be very close, but Tommy could beat him if anybody can. John Jones is
a different animal.
Ben, what's your player of the week?
I'm just gonna go with a game, the Phillies game yesterday. I know, call me Homer, whatever, but there was just a lot of storylines that I want to talk about. So,
are you going with Rhys Hoskins, my friend?
Well, no, there's a few storylines that
I think, Ben, I went with Rhys Hoskins during one of our older episodes for player of the week after he was smacking the Mets around. This was before Jake was along. That was pretty funny.
I think there was a few storylines with that game, which I watched all the way through, as I watch almost every Phillies game all the way through because I'm a psycho, and I just love baseball.
I'm a psycho too.
But you look at it, obviously there's the Rhys Hoskins story, great standing ovation from the fans. The home run I thought was really funny because there was like half the stadium booing, and then like after he hit home plate, everybody was cheering. Honestly, I was not booing because I mean I was at my house, so I wasn't gonna like boo the TV, but like you know, I thought it was good, and I was pretty comfortable that the Phillies were going to win at that point, to be honest with you. This team as in the Phillies just gives me a lot of I'm always confident. Even if we're down 3 runs in the 8th inning, like I'm confident we're going to make a comeback somehow. But you know, another storyline, David Dahl coming in.
David Dahl legacy game.
His first game in well over a year, almost 2 years.
Can I tell you something funny, Ben?
Yeah, what's up?
Did you know he was like my enemy for a long time, and do you know why? I think Jake's gonna understand this pain. I played MLB The Show, not this one this year.
Bro.
No, it wasn't that. It was not the one this year, but the one from last year. He got added onto a live roster on the Padres, and he was the one card I was missing for like 5 straight months until I could finally get him on auction because nobody would sell him. Yeah. I was like, this is unbelievable. I couldn't pull him in a pack, and nobody was selling him. I was like, dude, he's a bronze. Like, why am I getting literally like crapped on? Like, dude, it was horrible.
I have a funny story about David Dahl, real quick too. Yesterday was like I watched all the Yankee games, but yesterday like the Yankees weren't on yesterday, so I turned on the Phillies. Because my coworkers are big Phillies fans, and I turned them on, in like the middle of like the 6th or 7th inning, and David Dahl's batting, and I squint my eyes, and this is before like they announce his name or anything. I squint my eyes and I go, "Is that David Dahl?" And then it came up as David Dahl. I was like, "Oh my God, where has he been?" Because he was a top prospect for the Rockies like 6 years ago.
He was an all-star for the
and then
Rockies.
Yeah.
and then he
Uh,
went to the Padres, or he might have went to another team before that. But then he was on the Padres, and now he was playing in the minor leagues for the Phils.
Yeah.
I was dumbfounded when I saw David Dahl on the screen.
Yeah, the Phillies with every bench guy outside of Whit Merrifield, who I think might be gone at the trade deadline. I don't know.
No, he's
I
been
don't-
horrible, man.
I don't know how
He'll
much
just DFA'd.
how valuable he is to the locker room. But with that being said, this team is full of veterans that start. So do you need another veteran like on the bench who hasn't even won anything? Like I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think the Phillies, they've had some
There's one thing the Phillies have to do, Ben, besides going after like anybody.
get a
I
true closer.
swear. If I don't see an extension soon for Edmundo Sosa, I'm going to flip a car. He
Dude,
deserves his money.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I could foresee him getting traded in the
That could
offseason
make sense. Or even
because
honestly,
there's
trade
nowhere
him
to
in the
play
middle of the
him.
season.
Where are you
Yeah,
gonna play him?
you can either trade him
easily
in the
could
middle
find,
of the season.
bro. Move Trey to center field.
No.
He
That's
used to play center field.
Johan
Came
Rojas
out
is
the
our center
professionals,
fielder,
yeah.
dude. Johan's
Do
actually
you
like
want people
hitting.
who can actually hit the ball though?
Johan's hitting.
I
Johan's
don't
doing
trust him.
way better than
Sosa could be a
anybody projected.
great trade piece for like a back end reliever at the deadline. Because he
Yeah,
could be a
I
starting
don't think you
shortstop
trade him.
somewhere.
I don't think you trade him at the deadline. I think what they're gonna do is, and I've thought about this. I think they're gonna. David Dahl is probably gonna fall off. Assuming David Dahl does not bat like 300 and hit a million home runs, you move when Trey Turner comes back, you move Sosa to left field. So then you have Marsh, Pache, and Sosa in a kind of platoon, and then you just figure out which guy you want to start in the playoffs. I think obviously if you want the defensive capabilities, you start Marsh or Pache, but Pache might get traded or sent down or something. Although if he gets sent down, he's probably gonna get claimed because he's actually done pretty well. I don't. The Phillies development team and staff has just been amazing. Like every guy they bring in gets better, unless they're old, like Whit Merrifield. But every other person comes into this organization and just magically gets better. It's like it's great. We're kind of turning into the Tampa Bay Rays. Like it's kind of just it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, shout out to the Phillies. Gotta love the Phillies. I feel like we're gonna be talking a lot of baseball after in 3 weeks. Although I will say Euros and Copa America is starting next week, so maybe we could get in a little preview. I don't know what you guys think about that, but
We'll see.
I'm super excited.
We'll see.
I'm
So your
really
player of
hoping
the
my
week's
boss lets me
David
watch
Dahl
it.
then?
Yeah, I'm gonna go David Dahl. I mean, obviously
Okay.
Reese Hoskins. Shout out to him. I honestly wasn't as much of a Reese Hoskins lover as everybody else, but I was up for his. I was at his I think second or third game or something like that, and me and my dad are sitting there, and I know like every player, and I'm like, who is this guy? I literally had no idea who Reese Hoskins was because he wasn't even like a top prospect. Like you're like top 5 prospects in the organization if you're like a diehard fan, but I know he was like the Phillies like 12th prospect when he got called up. So it was, but yeah, I mean, I was there for that crazy streak at the start of his career. So shout out
It
to
was
him.
only right that he had a home run in Philly too. Super poetic.
Yeah, dude,
It
that
just made
swing
sense.
is just so his swing is. I'm always gonna remember his swing because his swing is just always the same, consistent, unique. Like there's nobody else that has that kind of swing, and he always hits it to the same spot. Always
Moving on
cool.
to our last segment, then we'll give a little talk on the MLB, then we'll call it. Unfortunately, some stuff has happened in the NHL. I'll give you your props, Ben. You could have your props. Edmonton made it. Edmonton made it, but guess what? The Rangers aren't here. So boom, boom, and boom. There is none of your Stanley Cup. How about that?
Yeah, the Rangers
Get that
got
out of
absolutely-
here.
The Rangers got absolutely cooked. I just want to say,
Matthew Tkachuk, baby, moneymaker, dude. I love that guy.
yeah,
Dude,
the Rangers got
I don't
destroyed. I don't
care.
even know how they won games. Honestly,
I'm
they
gonna
just
be so
got
honest with
absolutely
you. Like I really don't care what it takes. The Flyers should just give up our entire roster for Matthew Tkachuk because this dude single-handedly has taken down two different rivals in 2 year span in the playoffs for the Flyers. He's gotten rid of Boston 2 years in a row and New York this year. It's just
Yeah.
great.
But
I love him.
Chris, you realize he's only like the fourth best player in this series, though, right?
Yeah, are you sure about that?
Yeah. You at best you can say he's the third because Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid are way better than him, and then in my opinion, Evan Bouchard is also better than him. So,
What? No,
dude,
take
Evan
that back
Bouchard has
right
been the
now.
best defenseman in the playoffs.
I don't disagree with you, but like we're not gonna sit here and say that he's better than Matthew Tkachuk right now. Don't do that.
I
Don't
mean,
do that.
I am. I'm very
Don't
clearly
do
saying
that.
that. That's what I am saying.
Don't
I
do that.
will.
No. No, no, no. Gabe, it's unfortunate though that you and me had to watch that, man.
I know.
I want
Dude, I'm
Pavelski.
I
not
really
gonna
thought
lie.
I had it too. Like as we were
I
getting
going
closer
into
in
that
round
series, I was
2.
really nervous. I was really nervous going into that series the way Dallas had been playing. And you know what? That series gave me confidence, dude. I think
I really
Edmonton's
wanted
winning. I
Pavelski
think
to get
Edmonton's
his
winning.
ring
I'm so
before
confident.
retirement, man. I
I'm
really wanted that.
I'm just so incredibly confident Edmonton is winning. I'm gonna go right out there and say right now, Edmonton in 6. Right now.
Crazy.
I'm not even pulling up the stats to back it up. I usually do. I love my stats. I'm a big stats guy, but
Stats are no, I like it.
I'm not even pulling it out. I'm not even pulling them out. I don't need to. Edmonton has just been the best offensive team
I'm
in the
gonna tell
playoffs.
you this
Stuart
right
Skinner has
here,
been a
right
solid
now.
goaltender, and there you go. There you go.
I'm gonna tell
It's
you this
done.
right here, right now. To clear the air up because some people are probably looking at me like, dude, you're all over the place for this playoffs. Because I am. With the 4 teams that were left being the Rangers, Dallas, Edmonton, and Florida. Obviously, Dallas and the Rangers both got eliminated. Obviously, I'd pick the Flyers before I pick any other team. That's how it always is with me. Philly over everything. I'll put it this way. As long as it wasn't the Rangers, I was okay with any team winning. For example, I've always been a big Pavelski guy. Really wanted him to win a ring because my issue here is, right, everybody loves McDavid. If you hate McDavid, there's something wrong with you. My favorite player outside the Flyers organization is Leon Draisaitl. Truly. And my thing here is people are probably like, oh, why didn't you want Draisaitl then over Pavelski? And my thing here is though is McDavid and Draisaitl are both so young and they're both so talented and are both going to be on this roster probably for their full career to where like you're going to have plenty of opportunities to win Stanley Cups. Am I wrong?
I mean, you never know. They've been together for a while, and this is the farthest they've gotten. So
Yes, but they have a really good team around them this year.
yeah, they
And my
do.
my thing here
Yeah.
is Pavelski's literally 39 years old and is on the brink of retirement. And we don't know if he's gonna make the Hall of Fame. I really want him to because
I
he's in a
think he
thousand
will.
point he
I
has a
think he
thousand
will.
points over his career. And I think the only thing that would have really ensured that would have been a ring.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely in as a 7th round pick, getting over 1,000 points. I think for me, that's
To be
most
fair,
guys that get over 1,000 points, in my opinion, deserve to be Hall of
there's
Famers.
a
I'll look for
few
guys that have
other
been in the league for
guys
20 years.
though. There's a few other guys on Dallas that I'm still very highly on. Like obviously everybody knows Wyatt Johnson now. He's an animal. Rupe Hintz is great. Jamie Benn. Not a lot of people like Jamie Benn. I like Jamie Benn though, but
He goes
Andre
no
too,
visor.
man.
It's kind of funny. You don't see
What?
that a lot. He doesn't have a visor when he's playing.
Oh
At
yeah.
least throughout the playoffs he didn't, and I thought that was really funny. Also Jason Robertson, he's great too.
Yeah, Robertson's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm all over the place though. Like I said, I don't care who wins at this point because I'll be happy for either team. I think it would really suck for Matthew Tkachuk to lose back-to-back Stanley Cups, though, is my big thing here.
Yeah. Well, he's
But
gonna
at the
have to
same
cry
time,
about it.
you're playing the two best players in the league, so it's a little tough. Um, this prediction sucks, man. These are two really good teams. I think Florida's the deeper team in my opinion, not by a lot, but the deeper team.
I can agree with you on that.
I think I'm gonna take Florida in 7.
Wow. I'm gonna hop on the Ben train, the Edmonton
Of course you
train.
are. Of course you
Uh-huh.
are.
I've been saying
You're
Oilers
mad
with
that
them.
Come on
someone
over.
beat the Rangers.
Of course I'm mad at the someone beat the Rangers, but like, come on. Like at
Were
this
you
point,
watching the games?
I watched a couple, but not too intense. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I mean, I've been with Ben the last couple weeks with Edmonton. I'm gonna stick with them, and plus I can't see Florida. I mean, usually I like my thought process is like if Florida wins, then it's like, oh, we lost to the champions, so we deserve to lose. But no, I think Edmonton's gonna win. I think they're
Abe?
gonna win in 6.
Chris, you know who I got. I got Dallas in 8. Come on now.
Deep down inside,
Me-
so do I.
I'll take Florida in 7.
All right, we're split. I like
Yep.
it.
We got a split episode today.
I like it,
Good.
man. I like it, dude. It's tough, man. I want this to be a 7-game series, though, one way or another. Don't care who wins, like I said, but I want it to be a 7-game series because it's gonna be a fun series.
I have a question about that with you guys.
It's truly who wants it more at this point.
Chris, I got a question for all you guys about that because I've always thought about this. Would you rather your team win in 7 or win in 4 if it's at best out of 7? Like, which would you rather have?
7 because I'll be 10 times more hype.
I'm more of a 4 guy. I don't like the stress. I'm gonna be honest. I
You
hate
don't like the stress, but when you finally win in 7, you go
it's more euphoric.
bro.
It's way more euphoric. But like, if I can avoid the stress, I'd avoid the stress. But what do you two say about that? It's an interesting question. I feel like
It's tough.
Winning in
It's
7,
tough.
bro. Tell
Here's
me,
my
winning in 7.
perspective. Is that in the finals, it's usually 2 of the best teams in the league. It's almost never the 2 best teams, but it's 2 of the best teams in the league. So you're expecting a close series. So when you sweep that other team, it's rare, except like when the Warriors had that amazing team and was it 17, 18, and they swept Cleveland. But my dad actually grew up in, he grew up in a bunch of places, but he grew up at times he was a Sixers fan. Now, whatever, he doesn't follow basketball too closely, but he will still talk about the 1983 finals. And who was it? Moses Malone that said "fo fo fo," right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's something special. I mean, not obviously it wouldn't be the case that you're sweeping every single team that you play, but I don't know, 3 less losses. I'll take it in 4. But it's a good
Really?
question. It's a good question.
Jake, are you going with me on that?
I think I am. I understand what you guys are saying with like the stress, but I also feel like series when they like, especially in the finals when like they finish in 4 or finish in 5, they just don't get talked about as much as getting in 7 as when it finishes in 7. So I think I am gonna go with 7 because I feel like you remember it more because like you like kind of like fought with the team kind of, even though you're just watching it. But like you kind of like went through the ups and downs with the team, and I think that's just more fun and more memorable. So I think I'd like the 7 argument.
You know, I'll say this though, talking about the finals a little bit more. When I was watching Dallas and Edmonton's last game, I'm not gonna lie, the second they showed the camera on Connor McDavid sitting on the bench, I went, damn, this is really over. This dude, I've never seen him look like that a day in my life. He looked like he just like seen dead people, bro. Like he was like insanely locked in. I've never seen McDavid on another level in my entire life. My best friend looked at me and he was like, "Dude, I'm so close to placing the hat trick from McDavid right now." I'm like, "Dude, I wouldn't put it past you if he put up 10 goals in that game from the way he was locked in. It was unbelievable. I couldn't imagine seeing McDavid like that."
his first goal was absolutely disgusting.
Oh no, that was insanity.
If our viewers haven't seen it, or if you two haven't seen it, it's absolutely disgusting. He goes through the entire defense and then just it was disgusting.
That was nuts. If Florida has to play against that kind of McDavid, that's rough. If they have to, I'm not gonna switch up. Maybe next week I might change, but
when they're already down 3-0.
I don't know. When's the first game of the series?
Saturday.
Yeah.
It'll be
usually we record on Tuesday, so they might only have one game played.
They might have
then.
2. I don't remember.
The second game might be played that Tuesday night. Let me check. I'll check real quick.
I think it's Monday.
I'm assuming it's
Saturday and Monday, yeah. So there
Yeah,
would
so
be
they'll
two
have 2
games.
games. So
And
we'll
then
have
it's
some good, notes for that.
yeah, then it's Thursday, then Saturday again, then Tuesday. A little all over the place.
And I pulled up the NBA Finals too for everybody wondering about that. It's Thursday and then Sunday for Game 2, Wednesday for Game 3. So probably 2 games for both series that we can cover.
Yep. Ed, we're gonna give a quick little like around the MLB, and then we'll call it. So, it's a little interesting right now. Can you believe that 2 Padres guys are at the top for batting average right now?
No, I mean,
Who's
the
second?
Padres are
Luis
such a
Arias
weird
third.
team. I don't even
Luis
know if
Arias and Jurickson Profar.
Jurickson
He's on my
Profar has
fantasy
had
team. He's going off.
if they had like a most improved award for
Might be
MLB,
an
Jurickson
all-star.
Profar wins it easily. Like that guy
He
has
might
been
be.
insane.
He's gonna be an all-star this year, possibly.
It's so funny too with Profar's
100%.
career because every time he goes to any other team, because he's been on the Padres like 2 or 3 times at this point, and he
Yeah,
always
because he was on the
performs well.
Rockies, right, last year.
Yeah, and he was with the Rangers too. I think he started out with the Rangers, and he always performs well with the Padres. But then if you look at his career for every other team, he's not a good player.
Yeah, and
So it's so funny.
he was
So
the
he's
top
the Jesse
prospect in
Chavez
baseball.
then. So what you're saying is he's the Jesse Chavez just batting wise. He's Jesse
Yeah,
Chavez
with
stinks
the
on every
Braves.
team but the Braves.
This is him on steroids though, because like he hasn't. Well, he's not on steroids, guys. I'm not claiming he's on steroids, but
What? You think he's on roids?
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm opening an investigation. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean,
I don't
he's
even know
never
if he
been.
can afford it, bro.
He's gonna get if he's a free agent after the season, he's gonna get a bag. He's gonna get a bag.
I don't know, bro. I don't know how I'd pay
Dude,
a
these
guy
MLB
like that.
teams are not as bright as you think they are. They pay these guys that have one good year, and then it's just like,
You know what? That's fair.
true.
I want to give a quick shout out to my boy. A lot of people know I like this guy. He was having a slump the past like 2 seasons before this, but like it's crazy to see Salvador Perez really cooking out here again. I love that. Love that for
Yeah.
my
And he's been
boy.
playing some first base this year too.
He's 6th in batting average with a 315, literally. And Mookie Betts, who you can make the case is going to win MVP, is 318 right now. That's nuts to me.
I think one crazy storyline in at least in the National League is every division leader right now is 7 games in front already. That's a lot for this early in the season to be 7 out. So you're looking at the National League playoff picture, and it's kind of like not that you can say, okay, this is what's going to happen, but the division leaders are pretty set. The first wild card is probably going to be the Braves. They have a decent gap, and I know they lost Acuna, but they're there. And then those 2 last wild card spots are always going to be a fight to the end. But outside of that, I mean, it's pretty clear cut as to
I
what's
I will
gonna
say
happen
though,
there, so.
as a Mets fan, what was it? 2 years ago, we were up like 8.5 games with like a couple weeks to go, and then we lost that to the Braves, I think.
That was funny.
Yeah.
So nothing's
It's
ever set in
possible.
stone, but 7 games this early is a big one.
Quick question. Does anybody have an update on the Kyle Tucker situation or no? Do we know if he's good or because he got hit in the shin with the ball and that was bad. That looked bad.
I saw that. I think he's okay. I mean, he's just day to day right now. He
was having a really good year so far too.
Yeah,
he's leading the
top
league in
3
home runs, I think, right?
Nah, Judge is there now, baby. Which I can finally say the stat. I've been waiting. I wanted to say last week, but we cut MLB last week. Aaron Judge is the first person in MLB history, and it's like insane because baseball has so much history. But the first player in MLB history to have 12 doubles and 11 home runs in a 20-game span.
Yeah, he had an insane month.
Yeah, and over half the games that he played in those 20 games.
He's getting paid that much for a reason, man. He's that guy. I'll give him his props.
And this is after
I've always liked Aaron Judge.
He slumped for the first 3 weeks of the season, and now he leads in so many categories now.
That's one guy I'll tell you I've always liked off the Yankees, Aaron Judge. I'll tell you that.
How can you hate him?
So I mean, this one guy I'll tell you. I'm gonna pin a question on you now, Jake.
Go ahead.
Your rival team has been okay.
Yeah,
okay, not great at all, but
they don't really have a lineup.
who you think I'm talking about?
Red Sox.
No.
What? That's the biggest rival for the Yankees.
There's other teams that are rival. Do you foresee Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on the move?
Ooh. I mean, if they want to be successful in the future, no. Like they just got to keep those guys.
Okay.
I just want to
But-
say, I don't know about those two, but the polar bear is 100% getting traded. He is not going to be a match.
I hope so. I hope so. Look at
He's-
Gabe's face.
I'm sorry. It was a nice couple of years when he was like the face of the. I mean, like I guess you could call it the face of the franchise because he was like the culture. But
Might as well move Lindor
Yeah, we're gonna
anyways.
do-
All
He
I'm saying
stinks.
is if the Mets don't sell at the deadline, that's so dumb.
Yeah, you might as well move Lindor too because he stinks.
No,
Well,
Lindor
all
can't
right,
be
all
this
right,
contract.
all right.
You could just rebuild your team with Francisco Alvarez.
Dude, Francisco
I mean,
Alvarez hasn't played in like a month.
Yeah, but like he's gonna be one of the only guys that keep
No,
around
you
him
got
and
to
Brett Beatty because according to
just
every
watch
Mets
out,
fan, Brett
Ronald
Beatty's that
Acuna.
guy, but I haven't seen it.
Ronald Acuna's brother,
Luis
I-
Angel.
yeah, Luis Angel Acuna, he's the Giants or the Mets top prospect, and apparently he's been insane. So
we got
They
the next
get
Ronald Acuna. You heard it here first.
yeah, well, maybe we'll see. We'll see.
No, definitely, it's confirmed.
What?
We got the
What's
next Ronald
confirmed?
Acuna.
Oh, yeah, okay. We don't even know if Ronald Acuna is Ronald Acuna anymore, man. Off
Yeah.
that injury. It's rough, dude.
It is tough.
An injury like that can easily take a toll on your career. We've seen it happen
mean,
with other players.
He came back after the first injury.
Yeah, but
but-
what's a second injury gonna do now?
It is on the opposite leg though, so you know.
That's even worse.
I
'Cause
get
now,
I
now
don't-
both your legs, bro.
yeah. I don't know.
It's
We'll
all
see,
right.
we'll see.
You might be able to play without one leg, yo. But like both legs now you're cooked. Now
Yeah.
you're
That's
We'll
what
see.
happened to
though.
Derrick Rose, right?
He's a young guy. He can recover more than
Did Derrick
likely.
Rose tear the same ACL twice, or was it both legs?
I think it was
I
the
think
same one.
Oh, the same one. Never mind then. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know what's worse, honestly.
Ben, should the Phillies trade for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.?
The Phillies. Why would the Phillies do it?
Why not?
The
Why
only thing
not?
that the Phillies should be
You really
trading
want
at
to
the
mess up what
deadline.
you got right now?
The only thing that the Phillies should be trading at the deadline is for another back. end reliever.
Why? We can move. We can make him play something. You know, make him play DH.
And then what? Move Schwarber to the field.
Yeah, he'll replace Castellanos. Castellanos has been
he's been hit.
awful.
But he's been hit in the past couple like
A little bit.
half, right?
He's starting to find it a little bit, but it just hasn't been that great. It's low key sucked. You know what I mean? It's not been that great. I don't know what to do. So you do think though that they're gonna get moved or no?
No, I don't think they will.
Okay,
They're the
That's
face
fair.
of the franchise for the Blue Jays.
that's fair. I think if the Blue Jays were smart, I mean, to be fair, I've trashed the Blue Jays for a little while now. They've made some real bad trades, dude. It started with Gariel, Marino.
Back.
You know, keeping George Springer around, like it's been a lot of dumb trades
Yeah,
for them. but
that's a guy that like George Springer. He isn't really doing anything
Uh,
anymore.
there's
I'm
been
back.
there's been a few really messed up trades that they've done in the Jays history. So that's why I've been upset. One quick news, and then I'm gonna call it. Something just came out right now that the Oakland A's, once they move into their ballpark in Vegas, they would like to play 8 home games at other ballparks, not counting their own ballpark.
That's
I don't-
insane.
I don't understand. I think it's kind of dumb, but like
Dude, John Fisher, their owner, needs to go. Screw that guy. Also, my internet crashed. Sorry about that. But I'm back. Did I like freeze? Like I wonder what happened on your guys.
You're
Yeah,
frozen for me
you're
right
frozen.
You're
now.
frozen, but we can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, it works, I guess. Yeah. Well,
Gabe, what do you think about that real quick?
Would that be? I mean, like, no, I don't see the point. Like, where are they going to cities that don't have MLB teams, or are they
Yeah,
playing
they
8 games in Oakland?
I don't
Listen,
know.
or are they
I
going to
don't-
play 8 games in other minor league ballparks like they're going to be doing for the next 2 years?
They're
I
gonna
don't
become
know,
the Savannah
man.
Bananas
No,
over time.
I'm guessing they're gonna try and go. They're trying to play games in Europe and Mexico and stuff like that to try and get a bigger market share. But anyway,
Maybe.
I don't even want to talk about the A's. Honestly, I'm tired of it. I hate
It's
that
just-
organization.
makes me so
Next
mad.
time we'll talk about the A's when Mason Miller gets traded to the Phillies.
Okay.
That'll be
okay.
it though. That'll be it. Yeah, you can say okay all you want because it's gonna happen.
still
And then guess
frozen.
what? Guess what? The Yankees won't even make
You
it to
are,
the
yeah.
World Series. But if
Yeah,
they
no
do, they're
balloons.
gonna have to play Mason
There
Miller
we
and the
go. There he
Phillies.
is.
All right, Jake. Even if the Yankees do make the World Series, they're gonna have to play the Phillies with Mason Miller, and they're gonna get trashed.
I mean, it's the A's at this point. You don't know what they're gonna do.
That'll be it though. Stay hyped, stay hungry, and keep the frenzy alive. And we'll see you on the next one.